This, I think, is going to surprise you a little bit. Do you remember the Economic Investment Residential Certificate that the government launched at the end of the pandemic?
Yeah, for the remote workers.
No. This is the program for wealthy investors. They had the opportunity to immediately get permanent residency in exchange for at least $2.5 million of local investment. This program, with 58 applications, has brought $500 million in investments into the island. Yup, more than $500 million in 3 years from high net worth individuals from across the G7, including the US, UK, and Canada. The numbers break down that $212 million in local investment have gone to new businesses, $231 million has gone to real estate, $49 million to existing local enterprises, and a kind of disappointing $6 million to social ventures. Because apparently, if you've got more money than you can spend in 100 lifetimes, folks would still prefer to make more money rather than improve the lives of others. But whatever, it's cool. $500 million, I'm gonna take it. That said, how do y'all feel about that? Does that surprise you? Does that confuse you, or what?
I want to know when this money came in and who it came from.
Yeah, and let's get some of it to clear out some drainage and fix the roads.
And where's it going? Yeah, like where's it going toward? I'm sorry, that's just me.
Well, it's in the thing because it's not that the money is paid in tax or whatever, but you have to commit at least $2.5 million to one of these 4 different categories, like local investment. Now, don't really know what that means exactly, but that's the description for it. $231 million to real estate. So, we can understand that immediately. $49 million to existing local enterprises. So I guess the local investment, for new businesses, I'm sorry, it was the 212. Almost $50 million to existing local businesses and $6 million to social ventures in particular. So like charitable work, stuff like that. Yeah, well, that's the whole premise, right? Like, and that's been the operating premise for Bermuda ever since financial services became the primary drive of our economy. Like, you get a whole bunch of money in the country, eventually everybody's going to get a little piece of that. Like, it just sort of flows through. That's been the premise. However, your questions are not unique to us because this kind of so-called golden visa program exists in a whole bunch of developed countries all over the world. And it's coming under fire to shut it down for reasons that you might not have predicted, starting but not ending with Portugal.
But discontent for the golden visa goes far beyond Lisbon.
There was also pressure from the EU for countries like Portugal, Spain, and Greece to end the golden visa programs because they think the program paves the way for money laundering, corruption.
After the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, the European Union found out that many Russians were applying for the golden visa. So they pressured countries to end this type of programs.
Last year, the socialist prime minister announced that his government was ending the golden visa for real estate purchases.
Interesting that the Russians were then applying for golden visas.
I mean, it makes sense, right? It didn't occur to me, but Russia's full of these oligarchs, like they basically crime-driven billionaires that suddenly needed to get out of that space so they could keep doing business. This is the perfect kind of thing. So what I wanted from this, as far as disclosure was concerned, was identifying the people who've done it. Like, I'm sure there's a list somewhere, like who has made this commitment, what have they spent, what's the project, what's their origin, like that kind of thing. Now, I imagine there might be more than is reasonable to ask, but I would really like to know because I think if we have a couple of Russian oligarchs just cruising around the island now, I think it's worth everybody being aware of that at this stage.